up front real quick and apologize to all of our 5 listeners that I still have kind of a sore throat, so I might not talk very much tonight, or it might sound funny.
I'm going to carry the show.
Andrew's going to carry the show.
Down?
Thank somewhere.
God. Exactly, thank God.
My wit is
I am, of the 2 sick people in this basement, I am the one that's much less sickly. Unfortunately.
He brags.
No biggie.
Of all the people in this basement, I feel I am the less sick.
Exactly. So we have 3 guests on our show tonight, as opposed to the one guest we were supposed to have, because she canceled last minute because she had a whole bunch of crap to do tomorrow. It's okay.
Okay.
It's not.
You're not going to call her a girl because she has the... Whatever.
She is a girl, so it doesn't work if I say she had to take out a tampon, because maybe she did.
Has some male problems, I guess.
She was too busy. She had her dick caught in her zipper. I don't know what you want from me right now.
I thought you meant like...
Can you imagine having to make that call?
She's too busy battling erectile dysfunction.
I think no man would make that phone call.
Okay, so as we do every episode, we're going to go around the table just and say our names for our guests. On my left, we start with a returning guest.
Cody Tinsley.
Hi, I'm Bruce Robinson. I'm the sick Jew of the night.
Next to him,
Every
David
podcast
Bates.
needs one.
And Mitch is interrupting me.
Sorry,
God,
Asshole.
fucker.
Say it again.
Say it again.
I'm David Bates.
Andrew.
Ian.
I'm Mitch, interrupting people.
God damn it.
Asshole.
Motherfucker.
The table is, I mean, if I scoot this way anyway, the table is very clearly, divided between regulars and new people.
It really is.
If I just migrated a bit.
Yeah.
The regulars.
That's because we shun the new people.
Yeah,
they haven't earned the
every
right
time.
to be on this side yet.
Like
Except for
lot-
Cody. That's why Cody's next to me,
That's right.
because he's been here before.
I'm breaking this goddamn hierarchy.
It's fucking tyranny in this basement.
Society will come down.
Okay, so let me explain how we do things to Bruce and David real quick. We don't really come into this with anything prepared. It's very much just we bullshit.
Let me explain how we do things.
We don't.
You're looking at it.
Yeah, it's usually if
Except
you
that
guys.
one time where we had a card with things. To say.
Yeah, that was fun. If you guys have anything to plug that you're doing right now, like a show or something you're working on, anything like that, feel free to do it. That's supposed to be the focus of the show.
Hey, I plug stuff on
We're going back to it.
Yeah, we're getting back to it. For now, yeah, just feel free to talk about whatever you want. Remember, you can't say dick face. You can say dick and face, not dick face.
You just did it twice.
You have to hyphenate it. I'm the host.
I play by my own rules.
Just like, I can say it because I'm your dad.
Exactly. So yeah,
Your room.
Go to your room.
I'm
Dad?
So I'm gonna start with a story about how I almost died
Sweet.
last week. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds right.
I think it was
Sounds like
last
the
week.
best
Starting
day
on the
ever.
right foot.
I know, yeah. So me, Sonia, and Sonia's daughter Day went up to St. Louis to visit my mom for her birthday.
Oh, cool.
This was actually a
Sonia?
couple weeks ago. Now that I think about it. But we went up.
It's his
just
lady friend.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Sorry,
Continuity.
should have explained that.
Continuity.
It's my girlfriend,
There
yeah.
you go.
We went up to St. Louis. We had a really good time. It's a 3-day weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're on our way back Sunday night, and it's like maybe 7-ish, and we're like 20 miles out on the highway.
Now,
Goes
quick
we're coming
side note,
south.
I actually went back to St. Louis Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well.
God damn it, Mitch!
I'm just
God damn it!
So
I'm
whatever
gonna
happens, it was Mitch's fault.
Exactly.
I'm gonna count how many times Mitch interrupts people tonight.
Oh, he does it all the
That's
time.
2.
Yeah, that's 2. Keep it running. Tally. When you run out of fingers, just pass it off to
Yeah,
Bruce.
it'll
and
just be
start
like
going.
yeah.
And we'll
Yeah.
get it all the way around.
Anyway, so I'm driving down the highway, and we're just Day's asleep in the back seat, and Sonny and I are just chit chatting, whatever. And all of a sudden, my right front tire just explodes,
Oh, shit. Yeah.
and it was like a violent one where it like came off the rim, kind of.
Shrapnel.
Yeah, and it was just like boom. It was like the loudest bang I've ever heard, and I'm like death gripping the steering wheel, like what the fuck just happened? Because I've never had a blowout. I've had a tire go flat, but not a blowout. And Sonny's like, "Oh shit, you have a blowout. Okay, get over to the side." I'm like, "Okay," and we're in the left lane, so I get over to the left shoulder. And she's like, "No, the other one." And I was like, "What do you want from me? I'm in the fucking highway." So a little ways back, there's people just barreling down the highway doing like 60, and I have to get my now like mangled car to the other shoulder in this 2-lane highway. And I'm afraid that I'm going to turn it and it's going to slip off, like the actual wheel is going to slip off and I'm just going to like hit the axle because it sounds so bad. And so I real quick just like whip the wheel to the right and just gun it. And I just shoot across the highway. And I almost, yeah, exactly. And I almost like,
Drift King.
I almost like shoot off the shoulder into like this fucking like that part between where it's just like a grass ditch.
The solution is always to just gun it.
Yeah, exactly.
You were doing the right thing.
And we get out and I guess the piece of the tire that had actually blown off was still attached, only in that we were moving so quickly that it was still like on the tire. So then as soon as I turned to the right and gunned it, it fell off. And I was just like riding rim the entire way across the highway.
No.
And so I get over there, and Sonia, these cars are really close now. They're like 5 seconds away from passing us. And Sonia's like, oh, tire, runs out in the middle of the fucking highway, grabs it, and runs back, narrowly missing the car. Just, exactly. It was, I don't fucking understand it. And I get up to look, and the entire tire's just gone. Like,
The tire is dissipated.
there's like maybe an inch thick worth of width of the tire still on the rim, and that comes out, it's maybe like 3 inches tall all the way around, and the rest of it's just gone. It's just not there. And then the best part is that I had to get it towed because the last time I got a flat, I went to get my donut out of my car, and it was flat. The donut was flat. So I was like, God damn it. And I towed it, and I had to pay like $45 because it was outside of my insurance's like tow range. And the next day, I have Sonia's mom help me a little bit. I had her come get me, and then she was going to drive me to Walmart. And I had to get the tire off first because I was just going to take them the tire, have them put a new one on it, and then I'd put it back on myself because I'm not going to pay for fucking labor and all that. So I go into my trunk to put the tire, or to get the tire iron thing that I have, and I lift up the cover because it's one of those sunk it in things, and there's a new spare just in my trunk.
Secret
And I don't. It had to have been when I got my last flat. Whoever, I don't fucking remember who gave me my new tire, but wherever I'd taken it, they had to have given me a new spare.
Nice.
God damn, I hate it when I just get drunk and buy spare car parts.
I know, because it was literally like I opened it up and I saw it and I was like, that's flat. And I touched it and it wasn't flat. And I was like, how did this get here?
It's a gift from God.
It was a gift. But then
Vile devilry is this.
exactly. But I felt like such a fucking dumbass because I blew $45 when I could have just changed it on the side of the
that's
fucking
fine.
highway. And I didn't know.
Sorry.
Moral of the story is always check your trunk for a spare, even if you know it's flat.
Even if you know you have no spare, you never know when a magic spare.
Yeah, you never know. You just got drunk and bought a new tire.
Exactly.
The tire
I must have.
melts while you slept.
Yeah, exactly.
Even like a Hallmark gift card or something like
I feel like one of these days I really need to like hunker down and like really learn how to change a tire. 'Cause
Okay.
Andrew, I can teach you right now in like 3 minutes.
I also had a blowout on the road once. And that was like one of the first times I was driving down for college. And Go like, on. I could tell that my tire was having some trouble, keeping air inside of it. My dad's like, oh, you just take this stuff, you spray it into the tube, and you drive around with it, and it's like this quick repair
Yeah.
shit. I don't know. Cars,
It's
not
sealed in
within
it.
my realm of knowledge.
yeah, that's some kind of witchcraft.
Yeah,
It
like,
sounded
oh,
like
this sounds pretty
Star Trek
fancy,
shit.
Whatever, Dad. He's like, oh, it'll get you down to Springfield. I'm like, well, off I go.
Let's do this.
Dead of winter, right? So it's fairly fucking cold. Like I think it might even been snowing a little bit.
the best time for
Yeah,
a tire.
I was about
maintenance.
halfway down between Liberty and Springfield, which is to say there was no society
Yeah.
whatsoever. I mean, once you get past
Basically, you're
Springfield,
leaving Kansas City, you've got like 30 minutes of civilization, and coming into Springfield, you've got like 10 minutes, and then between those
you
areas,
just
it's
have
just
Clinton.
desolate,
that one
with
town.
one exception.
It
Exactly.
only exists because it's in between Kansas City.
And even then, it's only that's like a 10-minute stretch of
Yeah.
mild civilization. So most of that 3-hour drive is just
Backwards.
wide
Yeah.
open space.
So it was
nothing
not
but
within the
deer.
safety zones.
Of using
My
this
tire
Here's
weird
the danger zone.
science fiction glue.
And I'm not thinking about it. Like, I'm fully like, oh, I've got the special magic spray. My tire-
La-di-da, I'm going home.
Fine. And it just fucking exploded. Like, I remember, like, I thought it, you know, in the movies when they shoot at the tires,
Yeah.
I think they're exaggerating that they fucking explode.
No, they just fucking explode.
It's
Yeah.
like
So
missiles
what you're
coming
telling
out of
me
it.
is
Yeah.
that somebody
shot my tire, and I have never found the man.
But this is my plea.
One day.
What car was this?
Because I had a side
That
job.
was you?
Just shooting a random car.
Yeah.
Dude,
in the
I
not safety zones.
used to have problems with stress.
In GTA 5, there's a mission pretty early on where you go to like a hotel roof and your friend has you fucking shoot the tires out of passing cars. I think that's what happened to you.
That must have been
Was you
it.
got fucking
The guy,
Trevor.
he was up in the trees.
I
He
didn't
was up
know
in the
that was
trees
a
of Wild
mission. I
Missouri.
just thought I did that.
I did it for
Listen, you're
fun.
doing it all wrong. You can actually get paid to do that.
What am I doing with my life? I'm going to start my college tomorrow.
I pull over, and I realize very quickly that I don't actually know how to change the tire of the car. I have a spare.
I have the
in-between
tools.
It's not there. You know? I see the beginning part.
I've got
is
point
that
A
I've
and I've got point B.
spare.
How far did you get? Like, how far did you get before you realized?
Did you, like-
you had
Like
the
I
tire,
went
like,
out.
wait, what am
I
I
got
doing?
the tire like out of the trunk. Did you like? All right,
Now!
all right.
I've got this tire.
Step
Do
one,
I
check.
Fix yourself.
tape this tire to the other tire?
And this will be fine.
I'm trying to like rotating the flat to like unscrew it. No.
This gets better.
It's all of a sudden becomes lighter.
My inadequacy.
Put the next one on.
My inadequacy gets even better. At this point, it's really fucking cold, and I have no gloves.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
I do have fresh laundry, so I grab these socks, and I put these socks on my hand.
Yeah!
Right
And I'm
on.
like, just kind of digging at the tire. I'm not sure.
I fucking got this.
Or did you try to
With my
like...
sock hand.
Did you try to like pry the actual tire
I
off
was
like the rim?
Pulling around the metal part, like, I know something gives, and they're like, metal objects or
So,
something.
wait, did you at least get the car jacked up when you were doing this? Or
I did pick it
Okay, good. All right.
The car's still on the ground and you're trying to...
I have seen it in the movies. That part I
Did you?
actually
Oh wait,
knew.
did you jack it up on the frame or did you jack it up on the bodywork?
I actually did jack it up on the right spot.
Okay,
I
good.
found out later I could have not done that.
And fucked your
Thankfully,
car.
I was just lucky enough that I found the right spot by
You
accident.
can't just stick that thing anywhere, man.
No.
So I'm lost, and I really don't want to call my dad and be like, so this is
That's
socks on my
embarrassing.
hands, tire exploded.
I'm really cold.
Your fucking wizardry did not work.
Wizard juice didn't fix my tire. At which point, this guy comes driving down the road who's like your typical Missourian and has always lived in Missouri kind of man. Like he's got a bit of a drawl to him, and he's got a truck and tools, and I'm like, that guy, he has the answer.
He can help
This
me.
guy, he knows how to fix my
Give
tire.
me your
And he pulls
wisdom.
over, and he comes over to see me like digging at the tire with my sock hands, and he's like, you need some help?
And you're like, no, not at all.
Like, at first,
No,
I thought
I've got this.
I thought about playing it cool, but I'm like, it's so fucking cold out here. I just want to get back to my car.
Sometimes you just gotta like sag up to your ineptitude. man.
Yeah.
Like,
And I tried to pretend like, oh, I'm trying to. I was like, oh, you just pop this thing up. And he just takes it out. I'm like, oh, well, you know, I was just about to get to that.
Yeah. I have a ritual.
it's harder with my sock hands.
You know, I'm just moving slower with the sock hands. And
You should have played it off like you didn't actually have hands. That there was it's like, this is so hard for people like me, man. I was in the war, and
the judge says if I use both my wrists and my mouth to drive the steering wheel,
Then it's legal.
then it's all right.
Yeah.
God bless you for your service.
Oh my
He was
god.
able to show me the next move, and at one point I was like, all right, now I know what to do.
No,
Thank
you
you
don't.
very much.
No, you don't.
Now that you have the tools and stuff. And I was able to, in fact, repair it with the man's help and drive on down the road. But I'll always remember my dignity was left on the side of that road, along with the tire, which fucking exploded.
Destroyed.
Well, I mean, I saw it didn't fall into pieces. It was still intact. It was just like, there's like metal mash in that.
Yeah, it's like the framework of it, yeah.
Just torn to pieces. I kept it as like a trophy for a while.
You're like,
I
yeah.
realized at some point I want to blow another tire, and I'd be like, good thing I saved the broken tire.
I've still got from my accident when I was like 16. I've still got my super jacked up license plate.
Just in case.
I've actually got a kindness of strangers story car related as well. It's not as funny, but it's also not very long. So
No sock hands?
I'll just give it. No sock hands involved. I'm not that awful. I was delivering pizzas in Liberty in the dead of winter, much like yourself.
Right.
And so I'm pulling out of this neighborhood. It's the neighborhood where Alex lived, actually. It's this pretty.
So the rich people like Brigadoon, you don't know where you are.
Yeah. No, dude. Even delivering there for a year, and I have like the map to Liberty like embedded in my brain.
Nice.
That neighborhood is still just a fucking
it all
maze.
looks the
It's
same.
a labyrinth.
Every house looks the same, and they have like the same giant yard and everything. And
Yeah.
There's like a million cul-de-sacs.
So I'm leaving that neighborhood, and the roads are a little icy, but they're not bad. I've driven on this shit 1,000 times. I'm getting up to the stop sign at that intersection, and I go to pump the brakes, and it's just keeps sliding.
Oh no.
We're in trouble here. We've got this fucking, like, I'm not stopping this car. So I'm like, all right, maybe I can just drift into the road. Maybe I'll be okay. So I kind of peek out for a second. I'm like, cars coming both directions. I'm like, this is going to get real bad real fast. So I immediately just turn the wheel and drive into this fucking, it's not like a full ditch, but it's kind of like a half ditch.
Yeah. It's just like a shoulder ditch.
It's off the road and a slight dip. But I'm like, this is way better than causing a 3-car accident.
Yeah.
I'm driving
when
into
you
this.
the sandwich of the car center.
Yeah, especially when I'm going to be in the middle of both of those cars. So I pull off into this ditch thing, and obviously the car stops because it pulled into a half ditch. And I'm like, all right, cool. Dodge the bullet there. Let's just back out.
Oh god.
That's not fucking working. You're not backing out of here. I can't get the traction, and it's probably too deep anyway. So I'm like, all right, I don't have AAA right now, so that's not going to happen. I guess I could call just my insurance people and see what happens. So I'm getting out of the car. I'm getting out of the car. The first thing I'm going to do is call the store and be like, "Hey, it's going to be a little bit before I get back." So consider that. But as I'm doing that, a guy with a fucking pickup truck comes pulling up behind me, and in my favorite moment of this whole ordeal, pumps his brakes and stops right behind my car. I'm like, "That's cute. I wish I could have done that."
How did you do that?
Did you just so you
get out of this?
you took your foot off the brake and then pressed it down? Like, oh my god! Oh man, I wish I knew.
I can't believe it. So he gets out of the car. He's like, "You having a little trouble?" I'm like,
A little.
have trouble. I'm seeing a pattern. It's the same guy.
It's the same
It's the same guy.
But this guy isn't normally well prepared because Ian's guy just knows how to change a flat. That's not that unheard of,
Knowledge
especially.
that most men should
Yeah,
carry.
it's knowledge I should myself have,
Right.
but I only know like the basics. I'm like, prop up the
What
car,
I've seen in TV
pull on
and
some
film.
bolts with your little thing, and
That's
know.
literally all you do. Like you know how to change a tire.
Yeah, I'm just not the one that got it.
I think the problem is once he gets the tire off, he's just lost.
Oh, he's like, all right, what do I do?
What do I do next?
Do I
I
just
feel like I should know this next
Don't
part.
put it on backward.
Do I?
All right, wait.
Do I
Some
have
socks
sex
would
with
really
this?
help.
He just
Get
puts
it.
the car down and tries to drive off with only 3 tires.
it's like, well, the flat's off.
He gets pulled over, and the cop's like, "Sir, you know you're missing a tire," and you're like, "No, I'm driving a tricycle." I fixed it.
I think it stands
Some
to reason that
tape
my
on
car
there.
should operate on 3 wheels. I don't see the problem.
As long
I
as
paid
you
enough
lean
money
back
for
in
it.
the corner, like a rickety table or something.
Oh no!
You're driving with a fat. You're driving with like me in your car, and you're like, "Sparky, go sit in the back corner." I'm like,
I need you to balance this a little bit.
Everyone just
Pull us
lean.
down.
Jump up and down on the back.
"There you go."
So the guy,
He
Yes.
hops out of his truck. I'm like, yeah, so clearly having a moment here.
right?
My car is in a half ditch. And he's like, you got someone who can tow you? And I'm like, yeah, I can probably just call like my insurance or whatever. We'll figure something out. And he's like, well, I got like a chain in the back of my truck here. We can extraordinarily well prepared.
And without your knowledge, you're like, so what does that mean? A chain? What does that mean?
I can at least put 2 and 2 together on this side. I'm not a very intelligent car guy, but I'm like, if you hook a chain up to one side and a chain to the other side, you could probably pull a car.
I would
He
assume.
was trying to seduce you. You got some chains here.
I got a
You're gonna
chain
be
in
my
the car.
place.
I can tell you back to my place.
We can get a map. I can chain you up. And we can grid this out.
Son, you look a little cold.
What about my car?
The gritting
Well, your
comes
car's
first.
not going anywhere. You'll be fine.
I'll bring you back
It'll
to
be here
it.
when you come back.
It's in that mini ditch. It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
So the term was half ditch.
So this guy takes out his gigantic chain.
So he's all like, I'm not really like a professional at this or anything, but I kind of know my way around this stuff. I don't know exactly how the under frame of your car works. So we can like hook it up under there. There's a chance I'm gonna like just pull off your entire bumper. if we try
Very,
this.
very, very slim.
And you looked off and you're like, I'm gonna take that chance.
Yeah, let's go for that. So he gets it hooked up, and again, in a bewildering feat of car maneuvering, he backs his car up on this icy road that my brakes could not work for the life of them on, and just slowly starts easing back and pulls my car right out of a little mini ditch. To this day, I'm like, what are the odds that literally the first guy that came along had a big ass pickup truck and a chain in the back to pull my car?
Yeah, not only
I got
the
back
chain
to the
do it, but
store
the
in like
capabilities in his vehicle.
with like just a slight 5-minute delay, no questions asked. I didn't have to like walk in the door and be like, "Hey guys, guess what happened?" I was just like walking the door, and I'm like, "Got back from my delivery, no problems."
You should have just told him a story like, yeah, I pulled it out myself.
I He-Man.
I just bulked up and I got in front of it.
Yeah. Push that sucker out of the mini.
It just coasted right up the ice.
It's one of those
Instead
stories like
pushing
when a
out.
woman sees her baby in danger.
Yeah.
He gains the power of a
Exactly.
My delivery is.
So, you said, and I hate to make this the Jake and Andrew show, but I have one more story because he said
That's
something.
what it is anyway. It's
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else
Okay.
is just tagging along.
hey man.
You mentioned the entire premise of the story is that your brakes failed. The first car I had was a Chevy S10. It's this little tiny like Chevy pickup truck that's meant for racing, and it's really not that good for racing. So I had it, and it was given to me by my stepfather just as a gift. He was like, you have your license, here's a car, treat it right. You have to pay for gas, you have to pay for insurance. I was like, okay. So one day I'm trying to drive to school, and I think it's like junior year, sophomore year or something. And you, Andrew, might recall the giant hill that you have to go up to get out of our former subdivision.
To get out of your subdivision?
Yeah.
You mean the dip between the
Yeah.
two hills where I drowned my car?
Exactly, yeah.
No, I think I remember that. I think I remember the area.
So okay, yeah, it's a good like 50-degree incline, and it's usually not a problem. Like it's not like hard to get up there with a car or whatever. But the night before, it had stormed super bad, and it was like huge puddle at the base of this like hill, and just getting up it wasn't a problem.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I got up the hill, and there's a stoplight at the top of it. So I get up the hill, and I'm in an automatic car, or it's an automatic truck rather. I get to the top of the hill, light's red. I put on my brakes, and I'm just waiting, and then the light turns green, and I try to go. And my car starts creeping along, and after a second and a half, I'm like, the car should be going faster than this. So I push more on the gas,
Okay.
and the car doesn't go faster. So I'm like, why isn't the car moving? And I basically just floor it at this point. I'm like, come on, car, go! And then I hear like the tire squealing noise, and I jolt forward a little bit, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm going faster. And so I'm trying to like come out of it because I have to turn left. So I'm like halfway into the intersection, and I like turn left, but I do it like in a jerky motion, and my back tires fishtail out behind me.
Oh no.
And
Holy shit.
as I spin to the left, which is the way I'm going, I see a school bus. And it's
This
like
just picked up.
it's maybe 50 feet away from me, still coming at me. Like it's slowing down because it's got a red light, but it's still coming at
The
me.
music picks up.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no! And I try to like, I take my foot off the gas and I try to hit the brakes, and the brakes aren't stopping anything, obviously, because my car isn't moving, it's just fishtailing. And so it just keeps going, it keeps spinning, and I'm like, I'm about to hit a school bus. I'm about to kill like 30 dudes. And it's,
Not just 30 dudes, 30 kids.
yeah, 30 kids.
I think the school bus is going to kill you.
No, probably, yeah. And the back end comes around, and I watch, and as I turn away, like, the back end's coming around, so I'm turning away from the school bus as it gets closer to me. And I catch the bus driver's eyes, and I just have this look of terror on my face, and he's giving me the same look right back. And I'm like, that's not comforting, sir.
Terrified.
Exactly. The look of pure control.
So
A veteran.
I've got this.
I keep going, and my back end comes within like maybe 5 inches of hitting this bus.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. And it stops, and I'm just sitting there gripping the wheel like, oh god, and like I'm trying to get my shit together, And I'm not even thinking about how long I'm sitting here, but it was like 30, maybe 45 seconds. And there's a line of cars now in the lane that I had just turned out of.
Right.
quote, unquote.
I had a vacuum.
If that's what we're gonna call it.
Yeah. And there's like 4 cars there, and there's like this red sedan sitting there, and he just goes, beep.
Move your ass!
Because he saw the whole fucking thing. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. So
If you're okay, you need to move.
I was facing the completely wrong direction now, so I had to like pull off the side, like turn fucking around. It was goddamn terrible.
Fine, I got one for you then. This is going along with our chain of Mr. Miracle showing up.
Yeah.
So-
Captain Planet.
Yeah, exactly. So,
This is big rusty chain.
Yeah, he loves to
That's
fix
not
cars.
creepy at all. Me and 3 of my friends, our senior year, we went to Wyoming for a week. And this is going to sound like a stereotypical horror movie. You know, he has a cabin out in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, that sounds like fun. You know, let's go have sex in the woods and then get murdered by
If you own property in Wyoming, you have a cabin in the middle of the
Kinda.
Yeah. I've been to Wyoming. That's the whole state.
So we're one day our guy who has lived there, he just goes, all right, let's go to this, this really cool hiking trail. We're like, all right, whatever. We're not doing anything.
We'll totally not get killed out
We're in
there.
Wyoming. So there's snow in at least half of the state. It's weird because like on the drive-through we went, it was very sunny when we left, and we drove through a blizzard when we were still in our shorts.
Huh.
Like, all right, yeah.
Just fuck it. I mean,
So we're
Adventures in Wyoming.
exactly.
It's
yeah.
like living in
I'm sure
Missouri,
that's
honestly.
Yeah, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're driving down to the site, and through like the intersection, there's just a lot of snow. And he's like, "I can do this!" And it's a
Famous last word.
did you grab him
No,
by the
I've got this.
Did you
No,
place
man.
your hand on his shoulder and be like, no, you can't.
You cannot.
I was moving towards him. It was
Oh,
like, I
okay.
can do this. No, you do. And it was a truck, but it was like it wasn't a 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So we get
That's
stuck.
3 tires.
We get stuck, and beforehand, his whole
It's a new
his
fad.
attitude of yes, we can do anything.
Challenge
turns into
accepted.
shit.
Oh, God.
And so me and Alan in the back were like, oh, we can do this. We start like trying to dig the snow out. He's like, it's no use. We can't do it.
It's snow use.
It's
I can't be the only one who heard it.
Ouch.
So we tried for like digging it out for about like 10 minutes. And he's getting super depressed, being like, I can't do anything.
I just imagine like
His warrior
digging and
spirit is
slowly
lost.
getting sadder and sadder.
I couldn't do it.
He
His
wasn't
tears
even
are
digging
melting the
anymore.
snow.
It was like everyone else on the trip was like, we can do it. We can, if we stick together, the power of friendship. And he's just going, no, guys, we can't.
We're so fucked.
Even if we call AAA,
We're gonna
it'll
die out
take
here.
them an hour. So
By then
We'll
we'll starve and if you eat them for food.
He starts looking at everybody like
we were
really
at
hungry,
least
like
in
you
the
look
woods. We
meaty.
could have like hunted something.
But I mean, it just becomes Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Sits down in a maze and freezes to death.
Where did you find an axe?
I wouldn't have put it past him. Put it past him.
He's
So we're
completely
hanging out and
stoic.
just being like, all right, we keep digging, and then we're like, all right, we need to take a break. And he's like, we can't do it. We're like, shut up.
Enough.
So then, ironically, Mr. Convenient drives by on this path in the
Pretty
middle
sure
of
this is the
nowhere.
same guy.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it is.
He just has like a radar for like.
He's just-
He's the car fairy.
Really, we've all just been visited by White Jesus
Yeah, that's exactly what.
or Santa Claus.
Well, ironically, on this
I
trip,
like
we did
Santa
meet
Claus.
the
Yeah, there you go.
meet the Moosiah, but that's a
The
different
Moosiah.
story.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Please
He
tell
just-
me it was a moose with a flowing white beard.
It's better,
I bet it was a cow.
believe it or
And
not.
on the powers of God.
I'll tell you, he parted the sea anyway.
And we're
You
like,
think it's a
Moosiah.
joke? It's part of it.
Wouldn't
Um,
Moosis be better?
Mooses.
If he's
It
like
would have.
Moses.
It's just so much fun to say Moosiah.
And you got on to me for this snow pun.
I thought mine was clever. I don't care what you said.
So Mr. Convenient comes by in his truck. He's just like, you guys in a spot of trouble? And we're like, yeah.
No, we're fine.
I love that question. Whenever you're just like
Yeah.
4 dudes hanging out on the side of a road with a car that's obviously like
Why is
Not
that the
working.
first question that comes to people?
I
You
feel
got
like
trouble?
I feel like it's just like the obligatory introduction question
Like,
instead
you
of
can't just jump
instead of
into
just like
helping
getting
them.
out of your car and being
That's what
like,
he said.
I need to help you guys.
I think
I would
I think
appreciate
it
that.
would be better with like than somebody just jumping out of the car and being like, "Hey, fuckface, what did you do?"
wait, that's how
Why'd
I
you guys fuck up so much?
Exactly. Well, it's just like whenever you go to a store and you're like, hey, do you work here? Of course they fucking say.
Dude, you think I wear this name tag everywhere?
It's like, why would I wear a red shirt and khakis and a name tag all the time? Like, no, that's just what I do in my leisure time.
I go to
Of course I
Walmart
work.
in my Pizza Hut uniform. People are like, I work at Pizza Hut. I'm like, fucking right I do.
I'm abnormally
How the
friendly.
fuck
to help
did you
find
know?
things.
So Mr. Convenient, the slight changes, he didn't have a chain, he had rope, which was a bit more confusing.
And a little
Well, we're just kind of like, why did you, whatever. And
More
it's the three of us. By the way, it isn't 4 guys. It's 3 guys and my buddy Jake's girlfriend.
Sounds like a party.
that sounds
So
like date
it's
rape.
the 3 of us being like, you know, it's the
Society's gonna start over.
Sounds like just enough holes.
I thought we were.
Oh, my
going
mom
across the
listens
line,
to
but
this.
attempting to come back to this. Me, Al, and her.
Solely the story.
Me, Al, and her are like, yeah, we could use some help. And Jake's like, what's the point?
He's
just standing there like, looking for a razor, like, I'm gonna end it, guys. I can't do it anymore.
Don't eat my penis.
Finally, he ties it around his truck and he gets around ours, and we pull it out, and we're like, hey, thank you. And he's like, so thanks. And we're like, what the fuck is wrong?
Dude!
all in a day's work, citizen.
Yes.
And then he flew off with his truck.
Pretty much.
He hopped on a manticore and
His truck just drives down the road and eventually just lifts into the sky.
And then, no, they're all walking.
and then he uses that rope and goes it around the sun, and then it's a tornado, and he takes it off, and the sun sets.
Not even, and they're all watching it as he lifts off the ground. They're like, where he's going, he doesn't need roads.
So, because I had to bring it up, I have to tell you the brief 2-second story about the Moosiah.
1,
Two.
2.
Well, thanks.
All right, you're done. Next.
Great story, man. Great story.
You're giving me shit about interrupting.
I'll give you
All right.
shit all night.
Yeah, that's right. I can flip all y'all off. Anyway,
And they won't know what happened.
exactly.
Except you just fucking said it.
Yeah, these guys always call me on whatever stealthy thing I'm doing.
He'll fucking like sit here and he'll be like
Yeah.
trying to get someone's attention, like waving his arms and shit, mouthing words, and I'll be sitting next to him watching him do it as I talk.
And very loudly, Jake will go, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Because everyone at this point is looking at Mitch and just the conversation has died.
Mitch is secretly a mime.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a
So,
mime
okay.
ballerina.
Not secretly.
So, Moosiah.
So Moosiah.
Tell the
So
Moosiah.
we had to take. He's taking us down the scenic route. This is to get to the cabin, and we just suddenly, like on the itty bitty road, we see maybe like 7. Is it meese? Mooses?
It's mooses.
Mooses?
Nice.
I'm slipping into the northern
You don't
already.
say mooses, we say meese. And we
I
are
think that's
proud.
just you.
Moose meat.
So
That's
we're-
so by ginger?
We
Nobody?
stop
All right,
because
fuck you.
they're all in the middle of the road, and we're just like, wow, there are a bunch of moose out. How are we going to get past them? How on earth are we going to get past them? And then we're all just kind of like looking ahead, being like, last time I saw a moose, I was like 4 at Grant's Farm, whatever.
Did you pull out a boomstick?
It's
Moose
better.
Grant.
So we're all just kind of looking ahead of us, and this one lone moose, the Moosiah, walks in front of us, and he looks at us, and we're just kind of like, just in awe, and he just looks to both sides, and all of the other moose, like, go off the road. And finally, it's just him, and he walks to the side, and he looks at us, and he nods. Very solemnly.
Raises one leg and he's like, go back in.
And we're all just,
You are free.
we can't even laugh. We're like,
Oh my god.
That's like having a brush with God. It's not even one of those things where you're like, that is so funny. I can't believe that just happened. It's literally, I can't believe that just happened. I have no idea what to think.
That moose is intelligent.
Did you thank him?
we just kind of, all we could do were like, and then we nodded.
Onward, noble
And
steed.
then we drove away being like, that just
And
happened.
as you passed, they filled the gap
They
behind
did!
you.
We looked and they all just like slowly got down the road.
Legend offering.
Let the humans pass.
It's just in case the Egyptians came to chase them.
Exactly, yeah.
My 2 initial thoughts was 1, that was secretly Zeus and he's going to find you and fuck you.
Because he likes your body.
I owe him for that.
And the second one is I feel like a bunch of, like, mooses, mice,
Mooses.
The
It's
plural
mooses.
of moose.
hanging out and doing their moose teenage thing. They're like, you know, it'd be fucking hilarious. Just go sit in the street
and pretend to be
And I hear
Jesus.
about this Jesus guy. I don't know what his deal is. And then there's some Moses guy that parted some Red Sea. I don't know what water is.
They're like, Frank, you look the most like a human being.
You can do that weird like head bob thing, right?
What the fuck you mean by that?
You've been working on the Nazis for a while now.
Mooses, surprisingly, notoriously racist.
How?
I've got one about
I'm curious about this though.
Oh, he said they look most like a human.
about tires and whatnot. And this
Let's
is
just keep the car stories
right.
going.
No, and this is my own stupidity that happened.
Yeah,
I was the cause of all of these things.
That's a great memoir title.
It was the cause of all.
Can I name the episode Cody was
I'm taking that, man. That's my memoir.
Right.
Like on Bob's Burgers, it's like Tina's like, oh, I'm the one that did all of it. And Gene's like, you're the reason I'm fat!
But I believe the last time I was on here, I mentioned my death trap truck.
Oh yeah, I love that story.
It's the one that the door would just fly open at random times.
very unsafe.
Not something you want to drive down
And the
the back.
seatbelt also didn't work, so
It would just pop off for like no reason.
I'd be like, whoa!
That is so true. It really, like, I would just turn and it's like, oh shit.
There's the road speeding
Yeah.
towards me.
So that's the only thing that was not my fault, was that the truck was kind of shitty. The tires were fine.
It has some issues.
So it is the dead of winter, and I lived about 30. I was going to the same friend. It was, you know what? It was the same night. I was going to the same friend that I got pulled over by that shithead cop. And yeah, that guy.
That guy.
I'm going about, I'm going about 30 miles, 20, 25 miles, and it's probably noon whenever I leave. I have to unthaw my truck from the from the road.
From the ice coffin that it is in.
That to me, in hindsight, should have been a red flag. If you have to unthaw your truck from the road,
You should just
don't
cancel
get out.
all plans for the
Right,
day.
because
Go
it's
back
over.
inside.
Get an air fryer and take it to the truck.
Getting out of town was like, you go 10, and if you go 11, you just slide now. So I get about halfway where my dad lives. And I hate driving. So I try and take the road with least traffic, which is a back road, which had not been salted.
Oh,
Dumbass. Again, I am the cause of all of these things.
You gotta take the heavy traffic roads when there's snow and ice on the ground. I mean,
So I turn down the road and I start going, and I start like shifting, and I'm not shifting, I'm just kind of sliding. And I'm like, I have my brother with me, I'm like, hey, this sucks.
I'm not doing it. Bro, hold on real quick.
just very nonchalantly, this is kind of bad.
Yeah, this is bad. So I
dude. Door flies open again.
yeah. So
I love to think there was you got so used to that it was just a real nonchalant.
No.
You were like talking to your passenger. So yeah, did you see the new? Oh wait, hang on.
it really was like that. There would be times where I was like, dude, have you been? Oh shit! Boom. You just have to close it.
So has anyone ever like walked up to you to say something when you're in the driver's seat? You just goes.
No, I've never done that. No. Normally the car's in motion, or the truck is in motion, which is not nearly as safe. But, no.
I swear it was parked when the door flies.
Right.
Well, no, but so then you're like parked in a lower parking lot. Your door just flies open and hits the car next to you. Like, oh shit!
So
Stupid door.
What would be the most awesome thing? You pull up to parties and then all of a sudden it just opens by itself, dumps.
Yeah,
And you step out with a case of
but the
beer
thing
and
about
just
it
like,
was,
sup.
it wouldn't.
Smoke machine.
It wouldn't open all of the way.
Uh-huh.
It wouldn't open all the way. It would open like enough to inconvenience you and possibly cause problems for other people.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. But it wasn't big enough to where I could get out. So I had to climb in through the passenger side. Anyways, we are now
Beside the point.
Yes, we are now 180 degrees, flipped the other way in the ditch, and we're stuck. So I'm sitting there because it's in a country road, and I'm like, all right.
Now, is this a full ditch or a half ditch?
It is.
We've got two choices.
I am in the middle. I am kind of on the road, but not really. I have like a tire that's not.
Oh, so
on-
you're literally riding the hump.
Yes, I'm on
Okay.
the hump, and there's like no hope of getting up. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, what's gonna happen? So I was like, all right, Garrett, get out and push.
Get on your snowshoes.
Again, keep in
You
mind
knew what this was.
He did nothing. He did nothing to deserve this.
That's why you were stuck.
But since his my
Death truck.
exactly since he was the victim that I'd be So,
Can that be the name of our next rock band, by the way? Either Half Ditch or Death Truck?
right, Death Truck.
It depends on what we play. If it's like heavy shit, then it's Death Truck. If it's like indie shit, then it's Half
It
Ditch.
needs to be like the really emotional song.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well,
no.
we'll be one of those bands that has like two identities. You know, it's like.
I
So
don't
like what
know
Corey
any
Taylor
band
does.
like that.
Kinda like
Okay,
Hank and
it's
Fred,
not necessarily like a band, but like an artist who has like several projects. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what you can
We'll
do
be
is
like
you get
that.
your
Like
car
fucking
stuck.
Maynard from Tool. He's got like 3 bands.
You get your car stuck, and then have the guy come and help you and ask him to be your lead singer.
Exactly.
And
It's a
then you just
magical
sing
time.
about cars
Yeah.
being stuck.
And then you'll be able to confirm that it is the same guy all the
Yeah.
time because he'll just go missing randomly for like days at a time.
You'll be in the middle of a set list and it'll just go poof.
Yeah.
And his truck will be gone.
I knew it.
So
Doves will fly.
so we
Gotta think
Garrett
of
I do
gets
have
out,
doves.
and in about an 8-hour period, it had snowed almost 3 feet. It is
Nice.
a ton of fucking snow.
That's almost tunneling snow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and we are in it.
Tunnel of snow.
And so
Garrett in that snow.
Garrett gets out and he starts pushing, and I'm just ridiculous.
You're an itty bitty brother.
I like to imagine that he did it with like no questions asked.
Yeah,
like,
he
okay.
did. He actually he's like, damn it, all right. Like my brother's incredibly loyal. He's fucking awesome, but yeah, he's just like, all right. So I'm sitting there revving the truck like, whoa, 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 and like it's like rocking. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm pushing. Well, you're not helping. And as soon as I'm saying you're not helping, and so we get back out on the road. I'm like, yeah, that's a win. Like,
Because you leave him in the
Right.
dust. Just,
it does not end there. Because I'm still bound and determined to go to my friend's house. But Garrett's
I'm
like,
going to this
You
party.
don't know when to call it
Yeah.
a day.
and Garrett's like, fuck this, drop me off at Dad's house. I hate that place, but by God, it's better than this damn death trap. I was like, all right, whatever. So to get to Dad's house, there's a very large hill.
Oh no.
Yeah, stupid. I mean, why do I
You're
do
literally
this?
just tempting fate at this point.
Yeah, it's stupid. But before I get to the hill, start to go off the road again. And I'm like, oh no. And
Hey, wait, do you have your brother this time?
he's still in the car.
still-
He's
okay,
still in the
good.
car, and I'm headed right for an electric pole. Like,
Oh,
I'm just
shit.
like, ha ha ha, yeah, because like you don't think. You're like, oh God.
All you can do is
Panic.
clench everything.
Right.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck did I do? Like, it's so fucking
I hit the only patch of solid ground within a 10-mile radius and missed the electric pole by maybe half an inch. I was like, oh God! And stuck again. So, I was like, Garrett, get out and push. And so
He's having a really shitty day.
oh,
man.
dude, this was horrible. And so he's out there pushing it. And at this time, I look over, because we're in a more residential area than there's houses.
There's
As-
actual civilization.
right.
I could go
As
and
opposed-
use a toilet if I
Right.
needed to.
As opposed to cows, there are horses.
Right.
Yeah, houses. And I look over, and there's my algebra teacher. And he's got a 4-wheel drive truck. Like, it's a big truck, and he has a chain and a ball on it. I was like, oh, awesome.
He also
Go
have truck
on.
nuts.
He had no will to help me. Is what he had.
That was immediately
He was like, nah.
He just walks outside like smoking a cigarette, has some scotch, and he's
Yeah.
like,
He's in
he
his
looks at you
robe.
and just like, fuck you, Cody.
What's up, asshole?
He just stood there, stood there.
Having a little trouble?
He's in like a robe with his name on it
Right.
too, just
Right.
standing there.
He's just standing there watching me, and I'm like, dude, like, help.
Come on.
And you're like, hang on, I'm gonna go change my smoking gun.
Yeah.
Just like you.
And again, 20 minutes of pushing, and we finally get it up. Well, excuse me, Garrett finally gets it up.
Yeah, let's
And
give credit
I
where
get up the hill, I get down, I drop him off.
Superman.
Yeah, dude, holy crap. He is a god.
I gotta give him a handshake now
Yeah,
next time.
I drop him off, and I am determined to go to Jamal's house.
You're like, I have to be careful. My greatest asset.
it's now gone.
From here on, I
So-
ride alone.
So,
Like if the Chiefs lost Jamal Charles.
exactly, it's like,
It's like
wow.
the final boss. Like
Because
Hope rides alone
I know that I can't drive and push and don't want to push. So,
at the same time.
exactly.
Superseding both other problems.
So I had gone down the hill to get to the house. Now I have to go back up the hill. And
This better have been like the best friend's house thing ever.
Yeah, no, dude.
Did you get like 12 blowjobs when you got there?
I got 12
blowjobs
blowjobs and like 79 virgins.
and a couple beers. And a couple beers.
Well, they were male virgins, so it didn't work out.
The entire room.
But you know what? They were fantastic.
They were really nice
And
guys.
we made a synchronized swimming team.
Exactly.
We have
And it
friendship
was
bracelets.
beautiful.
and-
So-
When the snow finally melted.
Oh my god. Going back up the hill, and I'm just gonna go for it because why not? And I get like probably 4 inches from where I need to be, and the truck stalls, and I'm like, what happens now? 'Cause, like most of the people, yeah,
Get out of the oh wait, you're not here anymore.
most of the people around here, it seems, are not very car literate. Neither am I. So when a car stalls, I'm like, well, the key's on. Like, why?
Why is it running?
Is your first instinct like when your internet goes out, like turn it off and turn it on?
Oh god! Oh god!
What's what you do?
You like pop the hood and look at it, hoping it'll fix
Right,
itself.
but it's not stopped. It's just moving backwards.
Oh god!
And like to the left of me is a steep embankment followed by water, which is presumably
Like you're seeing
very
the
cold.
future.
Yeah, probably very cold. So
That's gonna be me in 5 minutes.
I have to back down in neutral this hill on this icy fucking road, and I'm just like, oh my god, what is happening? I get all the way, and I back up even further than I had
So
to.
you get like a running start
To
at
get
it?
a running start because the first time I didn't have enough power, right? Go again. I have a mile head start, and I'm going. You can't go very fast because you'll. So it. Now I realize backing up defeated the purpose because I couldn't go very fast. Then I was like, well, I've got more room,
That's right, Scooby.
right? So the same thing happens, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
God damn it!
Why, God?
How could this possibly happen at the same
Right.
time? It's not like I didn't do the exact same fucking thing.
Back down again. Pull into my dad's house. Fuck this. I'm not going.
Fuck you, Jamal.
And an hour later, because it's Kansas, sun comes out, melted. Everything is melted. So I'm like, fuck yes, I am doing this.
It's
Get
on.
up over the hill, back on the highway, and I'm like an eighth of a mile out of town. I'm just like, go, 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 go. I'm like, what is happening? Get out and pull over the side of the road, kind of. Look in. I have no tire. It is just
Shredded to fuck.
yeah. It's just like this poor excuse of rubber.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, like
Just didn't look at his face. He was like looking
It
at.
looks like Home Alone.
Yeah, it's like looking at like a whole like messy kitchen. Just oh no!
I don't know. This is foreign territory to me. Like, these tires don't do this. They normally still circle.
It's like a shape I can't even describe.
I don't think I've ever heard a more astute observation.
And I'm almost in the middle of the road, and I'm like, if there's a car coming, it's still fairly wet outside.
Yeah.
We could slide, and this could be a problem for multiple people. And the
Garrett,
person,
get out and
At
post.
least you're thinking of like
No,
other
no.
people at this point.
yeah, exactly.
Where are you?
Garrick's back at the house. I wanted to like smoke signal him, but I couldn't. So the dude that's been salting the roads, he is like, he pulls up and again, you having a little trouble?
Yeah.
My tire is not round. Like,
I don't know what to do.
it's in pieces. It's in pieces.
My tire
failed
is a square.
geometry.
What do you think is happening?
It's turned into a parallelogram.
He gets me to the side of the road, and I have my dad come and, well, it's in the side of the road, but it's like in this pasture path. It's a path to a pasture, if that
Oh, okay.
makes sense.
So it's like a farmer's road.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So pasture.
A pasture. But not paved or graveled in any way.
Yeah, it's literally
and
just like dirt.
right. It's like you open the gate and you're in field.
Yeah.
So my dad comes from Fort Scott, which is about 25 miles because he works in there, and he changes my tire because I'm inadequate. And he's
You're
like, all
watching
right.
them and you're like, thanks.
Yeah, it's like,
Pretty cool. You're
thanks,
doing
Dad.
that.
You and Garrett should
Where
hook
you're
up.
like, turn into
Yeah.
the whatever.
Yeah, the way you do this. And so we get the tire changed, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna pull it back up on the road, and you know what? We'll be good." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So he can't back it up because he doesn't have any traction. So he takes off across the field, some farmer's field that we don't know who it is. And he's just like gunning it, man, and there's ruts everywhere. And he gets up to make the attempt, and he can't get it up on the road. So we're like, what the hell? Like, the truck runs now, but I can't get it up on the road. We had to leave it there. I went to the friend's house because my other friend picked me up and went over there. I fucking got there.
God damn it, I made it
I
to
got
this
there.
party.
Then that night, we had to come out, and it's just bitter cold. We had to, like, put sand underneath it for traction. And then after spinning it for, like, ever, Dad finally got it up on the road. And that's my tire story.
Wow.
It was...
You get to the party, it's like, dude, you have no idea what
Right.
happens.
Oh my God.
So I want to know what you did when you got there.
Yeah, what?
I will tell you what I did. I played NBA 2K. That's what I did. I played NBA and bitched about my tire.
For the entirety of the first half.
Exactly. I bitched about my tire, which I caused. So there you go. My tire story.
I wish you would call, like, the third time it finally happened, you call up Garrick and you're like, where are you?
Where did you go?
I need you to come push.
You're like, no, Dad, we need my...
The bat signal has been going for hours now.
Dad,
You literally call your dad and you're like, hey, Dad, can you put Garrett on the phone?
Dad, can you go pick up Garrick? He can push us. There's no tire, son. That's fine.
That's totally okay.
I have gotten to push the car, like, out of a dish, like, out of a dish.
A dish.
A dish
Right out of
once.
a dish.
My car was stuck in a dishwasher.
That is pushed it up.
I don't know how we got there, but
The dishwasher did not
I woke up
survive.
from a coma, and so my dad, it was, again, the same scenario, except I call my dad, he's like, all right, I'm going to gun it, can you push? I'm like, all right. And so we're gunning it, finally it moves, and he gets up, he's like, all right, we did it, and I'm going, yeah! Like, kissing my biceps that aren't there.
Just my arms.
Just my
biceps,
flappy
pussy.
arms.
Wherever
My
I
tiny noodly appendages.
it feels good, even though you're like, clearly the
Yeah,
car was
anytime
doing
you
more.
accomplish a minor feat of strength, you feel like my
Did I ever
dog.
tell you guys, real quick, that noodly appendages it used to be a recurring nightmare of mine?
That you had.
No.
Like, I'd get into a fight, and then, like, as soon as I go to throw a punch, my arm would just be like,
Oh no, my hands are hams.
No, that's just me in general.
Wacky wavy,
Exactly.
exactly. Man.
continue, sorry.
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it? Alright, now we're
The
good.
fear
I
has
know
improved
Bruce
my
has a
bones.
very good wreck story.
Oh, do it.
So,
Can you voice manage it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay.
I'm actually feeling much better now.
Okay.
Water and
Good.
stuff.
Nice.
So,
The celerity
so not
of
to
bad
matter, I can do my
accents.
Russian accent.
Oh,
Alright.
yes, excellent.
So I'm 16, and I need to preface this with, in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, today's gonna be a great fucking day.
Wait, is this every day?
No, this
Because that's a really good outlook.
Just this day. Just get off
this
the
day,
right
Oh, okay.
this day in particular,
The
like,
birds are
this
singing.
is gonna be a good
Full
fucking
of
day.
opportunity.
It's Friday. Spring break starts tomorrow.
Oh, man.
State chess is this weekend. We can go to that.
Shit, yeah.
I won't have sex until I'm 20.
But you know it's coming ever closer every day.
Every day I wake up and that day is closer. So you know what?
Moving right along.
So
You have a calendar that you mark. I'm like, yeah.
Four more years.
I don't think I've ever suspected something to come out of a person's mouth less than state chess is coming up.
Okay.
Well, and the best part is it worked really well next to the statement of "I'm not gonna have sex." The juxtaposition was just marvelous.
So
A master
you
craftsman.
feel like the universe
This
is
is
just clearing a path for you.
Great
every
fucking day. I get to school. I have choir in the morning. It just keeps getting worse.
I'm not stopping here, man.
And the girls decide, because I have like Jesus fucking hair down to my shoulders, they're like, let's straighten it. So it goes down to my belly button. So I have, like swoopy emo haircut down to my belly.
Nice.
And it's just my fucking day. And I'm like, all right, school's over.
I'm
Time to
feeling
go
good.
fucking home. I have literally a mile drive to get to my house from the school.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
Just
And
1 mile.
I have my little brother in the passenger seat. We have our friend Matt in the back seat, and Matt does not have any seatbelt on because we have all our shit in the back seat. It's high school. So we're literally on the home stretch. All we have
That
to
last
do,
10th of a mile.
see my house.
Yeah, like, what is the home stretch of a mile? That's just a trip.
Yeah,
The whole trip is the whole
it's. I literally have.
And you're literally
a
going
block.
home.
Turn the car on home stretch, baby.
Let's do this. I have a block to get. But in order to get into the next block section, I have to cross the highway.
Of course.
And so I have the stop signs here. Here's the other side of the road. And up here, to my right, is an overpass.
Oh no.
So
The Batmobile flies over.
we get up to the stop sign, and we do that old California roll and stop. I check real quick. I'm good. I start going. Meanwhile, in the back seat,
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
Matt looks to his right and he says, "Bruce, hit the gas now." To which my response is, "What's wrong, Matt?"
He lets off the gas.
He's like, oh, what's the problem?
Hits the brakes. Wait, what?
I better shut off the car.
He pulls out his seatbelt, jumps in the back to see what's going on.
Let's have a little talk.
As I look to my right, I see the grill of an 18-wheeler.
Oh god.
Oh, Lord.
And at this moment, I'm like, I'm going to die.
This is not the best day ever.
I should have 180 right there.
And so, pow is the only word for it. This truck hits my car so hard that we spin whatever is 180 more than 360 degrees.
540.
540.
According to my charts,
We spin completely around
And then halfway
another
again.
half. So we're facing the way we came, on the other side of the road.
Nailed it. I made it across. Nobody said I didn't mean it.
In the home stretch now.
So the truck driver gets out of his car and he's like, "You stupid fucking kid." And then,
Yes, I am.
Thank you, sir.
then my little brother's high school football coach pulls up and says to the truck driver, "Get the fuck back in your truck and leave these kids alone."
Oh, shit.
I was like, I don't know what
It's
just
about to
happened,
get hot up in this bitch.
but this is awesome.
Okay, real quick, how are you guys?
Yeah, do you take a moment to, like, assess how alive you are?
We're
Like,
fine.
Where did it hit you? Did it hit you
Bruce
like in the
just hops
front
out of the
side?
car.
It hit-
Well, shit.
Lights up the stogie.
It is literally 2 inches away from hitting my gas tank.
Oh.
It hit just the back ass.
Oh, so that's why you
car.
spun.
That's why you spun the
Okay.
fuck out. So I, before all that, I suppose I did check and make sure Robbie's okay. Good. Matt, you're mostly okay.
You're bleeding a little bit. You'll be fine.
you're no worse than you usually are.
Listen, you said to me, hit the. Never mind.
Fuck it. It's done.
So now there are 2 phone calls that have to be made. One is made by the truck driver because he's pissed, and one's made by me. The truck driver calls the cops, so they come down, and my job is to call my mother.
Which the truck driver refused to do.
Even though I begged him
Can you call my
very
mom while you're on
nicely.
the phone?
Seriously, it's easier for you. My phone's like in the car and shit. I
You
mean,
got the unlimited plan. Just
I've only got like 2 minutes.
And I get the feeling this conversation is going to take longer.
If I have a chess tournament.
sir, look at me. I have a chess tournament.
state, sir.
State. I have to get to state.
Now, for those of you who don't know my mother is this horrifying witch of a woman.
How did I know that? You started
By
the
the way-
show with.
By the way, don't tell your mom to listen to this.
You started the show with
out to
being a
Miss
sickly Jew, and I was like, his mom's probably terrible.
Oh, I love my mom because she's just me with a vagina.
I have no response to
Shout
that.
I don't.
Shout out to Bruce's mom.
You know what? I'm imagining it. I'm okay with that.
Alright, so sec.
Dude, all right, we're
Got
good.
it. Got it.
So now we all have that beautiful mental image in our heads.
Oh yeah, we do.
And Sparky's over there fucking it in his brain.
Just,
And I call my mom, and
guys, I'm gonna go upstairs for 5 minutes.
That deep snow.
and because I know if I say
It's okay. It's okay. Continue. Go.
if I say we got hit by an 18-wheeler, my mother will panic and murder me.
In that
Are
order.
you okay? Good. I'm coming to kill you.
If I say I got in an accident, she'll skip the panicking and just kill me. And then when she gets there, I know she'll see the car and then panic instead of kill me. So I have all the things planned out. I'm like,
You
So-
are a manipulative little fuck.
Mom, we have just had a douche doozy of a day.
Hi, Mom.
We
So-
got in a spot of trouble.
We may or may not be in a wee little bit of a mishap.
I believe they call it a collision.
You know how my day was
Accident
awesome
implies no
at
one
the
was at
beginning?
fault.
It's now taken a complete
540.
540.
You give her the sandwich, hi, Mom, so we were awesome in choir today, really good. I got hit by an 18-wheeler, and I'm almost home.
Yep.
I'm on the home stretch.
I'll be late for dinner.
Mom gets there, and because I had told her, I got in an accident, please come get me. And she's like, you dumb fuck. And so she parks at the gas station that I'm right next to. And she gets out of the car, and I see her face, and it is just rage incarnate. And then
You feel your testicles recede.
I'm about to reinvent it.
She's going to try to put me back up in there.
And then she sees the car, and her face softens from anger into just the most absolute terror.
Like, holy fuck.
And she runs over to the car, and she grabs my little brother, and she hugs him.
Bruce, you did this! You did this to my baby!
Priorities!
And then she grabs me, and she hugs me, and then she holds me at arm's length and says, my God, you look like a faggot. Are you okay?
I did not see that coming.
I love that story.
Oh, that might be the best story told so far.
That's great, man.
And that was how I
Oh my God.
And that's why I no longer drive a Ford Taurus.
Moral of the
It
story.
has nothing to do with the accident, and everything to do with the fact that his mom called him a faggot.
No.
I gotta stop driving this car. It's a dick magnet.
Your day after that, was it alright?
Did you have a good day the next day?
How was state chess?
State chess?
Did you lose your virginity before 20?
Actually, yes.
Okay. All right.
For the
record.
That was for effect. I lost my virginity at 14, boys. Fun fact.
That's right, and it was at camp.
Spanish
And his
movie.
name was Josh. I mean,
Shit, what did I say?
I'm Jessica. His
Lance.
name was
Lance.
Jessica.
Her name is Lance.
And she was handsome, I mean beautiful.
and she was naked.
Yeah,
And that's what's really important.
exactly.
Gave me the business.
Alright, so, I love all these stories where cars survive, except, did the car survive yours, or did it ever come back? Alright, well, we're gonna keep the dead car thing going, because
Oh, yes,
your
it's-
story with the fucking dip in the road,
Yeah.
I think it's time to talk about how I killed my car.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair.
I
Yeah,
love
let's do this.
story.
This is one of the most frightening nights of my life, and my life was probably never really in danger, so that goes to show you how much of a sheltered existence I've had.
But at the moment, I was terrified.
You live on the edge.
Yeah. So it is 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and I'm still delivering pizzas because the place I work at is open until 2 on weekends. So it's 2:30 in the
It's
morning.
like your last run.
Yeah, it is my last 2 runs of the day. I got my last 2 deliveries in the car. This is up in Kansas City. I'm going to go to Jake's house when I get off work, which I'm super
Oh, yeah,
excited
'cause we
about.
have
I've
a-
got like my computer in the backseat and some Xbox shit, and it's going to be rad.
We were
There are
like,
people already there.
At a party, yeah.
Do people still say rad? Is that still a
I do. I say it way too much.
I say it on a daily basis.
I'm taking it back.
I'm taking it back.
No, it's okay. I'm bringing it
No
back.
matter the
You
consequences.
have my support.
Bring back the red.
So it's raining super fucking hard, and it's
Hashtag bring back.
it's been raining for a couple hours, but it's getting really bad now, and it's raining so hard that if you're in a road that doesn't have much in the way of streetlights, you're not going to see shit. It's only the fact that I know I have the roads in this neighborhood, in this world around me memorized, that I'm still able to do my job competently.
Do you not have headlights in this?
No. I have headlights, but I mean they only go so far. Even if you turn on your brights, you can see a foot in front of you, maybe.
Okay,
It's-
it's
it's
a sheet of water.
it is coming down that hard.
It was a really
This
big
isn't
story.
pussy rain. This is real fucking rain coming down.
Pussy Rain. That
Pussy
sounds like a rap song.
Rain.
I bet it is a
I'm
rap
gonna
song.
make that a rap song. Pussy Rain.
It probably already is.
Nigga.
Even though it's Sunday.
Whoa.
It's okay.
Oh, man.
No, it's okay.
We
it's
can
okay.
talk about Jews all day,
It's
but
okay.
drop the
I have
N-bomb
a
and
black
whoa!
friend.
What's his name?
Tyrone.
I knew it! That's a joke. I don't have any black friends.
Ah.
Now that I think of it, I don't really have any friends.
No, you have me. I'm the chokin' Jew, and that's, you have
choking Jew?
You have a minority.
Really
friend
into
that makes you feel
autoerotic
better.
asphyxiation. Yeah.
Everybody gets one.
So,
Anyway,
so
yeah,
it's raining like a motherfucker, and I pull off, funny enough, into the neighborhood where Jake lives. I'm not going there yet. I'm delivering pizzas to this neighborhood, but I'll be back here later, except I won't.
You just don't know.
So I turn down, and as soon as you turn onto his road, it goes down a pretty steep hill and then back up. So at the bottom of this hill is just a big old...
It's the same hill that I went up to
Yeah.
spit out in my fucking truck.
There's a big old dip at the bottom of this. It's raining real hard. The streetlights aren't on in this particular part of the quadrant, so it's super fucking dark. I'm just driving real slow, because I can't see anything. Going real slow doesn't change much. You still can't see more than a foot in front of you. And suddenly, what is at first a sheet of rain turns into a literal wall of water, because I have stopped driving into rain and driven full on into a huge pool of water. Collected at the bottom
There
of
were
this
no
hill.
drainage pipes in that at the bottom of that hill.
There's a little sewer thing that they can go into, but it was nowhere near big enough to collect all of that fucking rain that was coming down. So I drive into this, and I'm up to my headlights in water.
Oh.
It's deep. So I'm immediately panicking. I'm like, this is fucking bad. I try to get out. You try and drive forward, and that's just not happening. Like, I'm in too deep. The car's not handling that.
Literally in too deep.
And it takes maybe a minute and a half for the car battery to go. Like, all the lights are flickering on and off in my car, and then it just fucking dies. So I'm in a bit of a pickle here. My first thought is, all right, so the water keeps coming up. How much longer until I abandon ship?
Do I have enough time to call my mother?
I saw
And then-
this in a movie once. I eat the pizzas now.
Well, and first of all,
Before they drown.
it's a miracle that it's literally almost up to the windows of my car, and none of it's getting in. So the insulation of this car, Oldsmobile Alero 2000, it deserves to be recognized. It's a beautiful car because no water got inside by the grace of God.
The people who work there are going to listen to this podcast and be like, fucking finally!
Well,
God
yeah,
damn,
so
fucking
many
We have our
shit."
spokesperson.
They don't make those anymore, unfortunately. But
Get used to it.
somehow there's no water getting into the car, which is wonderful. But I mean, the water level is rising, so
Which is still a problem.
I'm like, I don't want to be in this car if it goes all the way under. That's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
That's a funny phone call, though.
So then I'm like,
hey, work?
I'm underwater.
I may or may not be drowning.
and I get to do that phone call. We get to make that phone call. But first, I'm thinking of my own life. And the life of my previously mentioned computer sitting in the trunk of my
Which
car.
it should be noted
God.
is a Mac and therefore more expensive than it needs to be.
Absolutely.
Also, my entire CD collection is back there.
Which
You
is
got
more
Xbox
important
stuff
than the
too,
computer.
Yeah, and probably like an Xbox controller or two back there. I mean, basically, there's a lot of shit in my trunk that's going to go south if water gets in there. So I'm like,
It should probably be noted that
I'm thinking to
we have
myself,
real
all right,
worries.
I need to get out of my car
And save
and
the
somehow get to the trunk. This is going to be awesome. So I'm watching the water level rise, and I know there's going to be like a threshold where it's like, I can't wait it out anymore. It's not going down. I've got to get out of the car. And then the rain starts to slow down. I'm maybe like 2 minutes from like opening my window and crawling out into the water. But the rain starts to slow down. And then it kind of stops till the point where it's just a drizzle. And then the water level starts sinking around me. And all just drifting away. Like literally 2 minutes before I was going to jump out of the car and swim for it. So I didn't have to like save my valuables. And I didn't have to get like super fucking wet swimming out of my dying car. But needless to say, the car's not moving. Because the car is still
In
fucking
water.
soaked.
Yeah.
So all the water level eventually goes away, and the first phone call I make, which I don't know, I probably should have called someone else first, but the first phone call I make is work. I'm like, listen, these people aren't getting their pizza tonight. You can call them up and be like, hey, something's happened. We'll give you freebies later, but I'm not delivering these, and I'm also not coming back to the store tonight. Have fun closing. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, my car's drowning. Bye.
Well, we've
I
had
tell
a
you,
doozy
there was
of the day.
water everywhere.
Second phone call was to my mom.
Right.
Again, I don't have AAA at this point in my life, so there's no point in like calling them up. So I'm like, so Mom, my car is completely immobilized in the middle of a dark road. It was originally like
There is
5 foot deep in water. It was
There was
pretty
a
ugly.
rapist outside my door.
It's a bad world here. Anyway, I need you to call a tow truck for me while I evaluate my life and try not to get hit by a car. Because suddenly, now that the water's gone away, my next greatest fear is that I'm sitting in the middle of a super dark fucking road where anyone could just drive down and run into me. And I'm like, oh, I'll just turn on my hazards with my dead fucking battery.
It should be noted that when Andrew says that road had no street lights, it had no street lights anywhere near it. It was a pitch black road.
Very, very dark.
Night.
Seems like a miscalculation on the department.
It really was, because there was a fuck ton of people that lived in those subdivisions.
So my greatest fear at the moment is that a car is just going to come flying down the hill and crash into me, and somehow make this even worse.
Bury you in the water.
So I tell her to call a tow truck, and then I hop out of my car once the water level has completely subsided.
Wouldn't want to get wet now.
Yes. That'd be awful.
We're almost near the end of this debacle. Why get wet now?
I hop out of my car, and maybe 5 minutes pass, and a car comes driving down the hill, nice and slow. I flag him down. I'm like, hey, dude, don't run into me.
Hey, don't run into me.
So he doesn't drive around. He stops and is like, hey, let me help you. So I'm like,
some help there,
I don't think he asked that, actually. I think he asked what's wrong, because I don't have hazards on or anything. To the untrained eye, it's just a car sitting in the middle of the road.
And you were trying to stop him.
Yeah. So he basically asked what's wrong, and I'm like, dude, it's the weirdest fucking story. 10 minutes ago, there was nothing but water.
Was he lucky?
It really did. It receded so fast, it was fucking crazy how quick it went from 4 feet of water to nothing.
Which is funny, because in Springfield, 4 feet of water would take 3 days to go away.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So, telling him, I'm like, my car's fucking dead as hell. And he's like, well, I can try and jump you. I'm like, yeah, we can try that.
I hope it doesn't electrocute everyone.
There's no fucking way it'll work, but we can go for that. He tries to jump me, it doesn't happen. So, the good Samaritan that he is, he decides to just park behind my car and throw his hazards on while we wait for a tow truck to show up. Until a cop comes driving down the hill.
Oh, no.
And, I'm not going to get in trouble for this. But the cop's
see,
send this
every
guy
time I
this
hear
way, he
cop,
asks
I'm
me
like,
what's going on, and I again get to tell my crazy fucking story. And so the
everywhere.
the cop sits behind me and turns on his lights, and the guy gets to go along on his way. Claire and Adrian also came driving by at one point.
Did they just pass you?
Well, no. They stopped, but there's not much they could do. They were coming home from his place where I was going to go when I got off work. So 2 friends of ours come driving down the hill, and they're like, so Andrew, what's going on here? I'm like, yeah, story. Repeat all that stuff. And they're like, well, that's cool. Have a good night.
We're tired.
It wasn't quite like that, but it's there's nothing they can really do to help me. I've already got a
Right.
cop behind me with his lights on. It's basically well, hope your night improves. We're going to go home. Thanks, have a good night. Yeah. So, tow truck comes, my mom comes. We get all that shit sorted out. We tow my car in the middle of a maintenance place at 4 in the morning. I did get to keep the pizzas I had in my car. That was pretty cool. I had
silver lining.
I had 4 larges and an order of breadsticks.
That is great. You know
So
what?
was
That's an evening.
Yeah, that was all. It did not compensate.
Let me tell you.
The car was fucking toast. We spent considerable amount of money to try and get it up and running again.
No.
And it
Just couldn't.
It tried its damnedest
Just
for a little bit,
waterlogged.
but it had engine problems for a while after that. The battery was fucked beyond our recognition even when you put a new one in. The whole thing just didn't really work. We ended up selling it to someone else, and I think they don't even drive it anymore. I don't know what the hell happened with that thing, but
May as well. I mean, it's already half in water.
we tried to sell it to a dealership that I bought my current car from, and they were like, we don't take cars with water damage, and it makes fucking sense. A lot of cars are just never the same after something like that. So that was a hell of a car. It was my mom's for several years before it was mine. So we were both pretty emotionally attached to it. But that was the night that fucking thing died. It still ran a little bit for months after that, but it was never the same.
Never quite the same.
And that was a horrible fucking night.
So did the cost of the large pizzas equal the cost?
Not even close. I would have been able to buy all that food for $40-$50, and the repairs for that car cost. Well, and of course buying a new car to replace it. That was terrifying.
I've got a pretty good near-death experience.
Pretty near death experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all relative. It's not almost drowning in a car.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about that story is I haven't met anyone that has a similar one yet.
No, that's a
Especially in the middle of fucking Missouri.
I just imagine you like just, your little light from your cell phone in this dark car,
just
watching the water like spill
yeah,
out the window.
we're just terrified.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you don't hear those stories because most of those people die.
I'm not fucking joking, man. Like when the lights on my car went out, the only thing I could see with was the fucking flashlight out of my phone.
Right.
So like that was literally how I was seeing shit for a little bit.
Maybe if I use the police lights app on my phone, I can scare people away.
Don't come here.
Watch out for me.
No, it was like, because again, most people who would like drown their car are people who like accidentally fly off a bridge.
Right.
When they end up like late.
You were on the road.
I ended up in an impromptu body of water. Like this fucking dip in the road that just decided to be a pond for like 10 minutes. And I was just in the wrong fucking place.
I swear there was a pond here. 5 seconds.
That's the worst part
Whole
of it.
ecosystem.
If I had driven down that road 15 minutes later, it would have been dry as a fucking desert there. Like nothing would have come of it.
Probably.
I was in forensics in high school. Man, I fucking hated forensics. But
I love forensics.
really, I hated it. Our teacher was terrible. She was so bad. But
Roach?
no.
Terrible
Her
names.
name is no. I didn't go to Fort Scott. Anyways, I qualified for state in IDA, which I did improvised duet acting. You draw and then you go do it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And yeah, it really is. It's the only thing that I really enjoyed. So it's in Wichita, is where it is in Kansas. And
Which, fun fact, that was where state chess was.
there you go. You know what? It's probably the same
Going
weekend.
full circle up in here.
Right.
Podcast with a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, we are.
We're talking about cars, though.
That's right. We're talking about how we don't know this.
No, a lot of us
masculine
commenting
episode
on
I've
how
ever
little
had.
we
That's
know.
And so we had our one act qualify too. So the night before the main tournament, we went up and did our one act, and then we had a hotel that we stayed at, and we all went swimming. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, like you don't have to.
We all went. No,
just speak up a little.
right on. And so recap in case that didn't.
No, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Good. So
The bars were reading a normal. Yeah.
right on. So we're all going swimming in the pool, and I mean, where else are we going to go swimming? That's a dumb
Thank you,
statement,
Cody.
right?
Go swim in that lake.
Yeah, impromptu pond, and
Eerie.
it smells really. It smells really
That
badly.
was terrible. I'm
Like,
sorry.
It smells terrible.
yeah, it smells like chlorine, and like all pools smell like chlorine. This
Like
was
they overdid it.
like you could cut it, like
Yeah.
whoosh. And so like we're all playing in the pool. I start to cough a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. And,
Oh damn! I coughed.
and we switch over to the hot tub, and it's even worse, but it's not unbearable. So we're in there for like probably about an hour and a half, and I get out of the hot tub, I'm done, and all of a sudden I can't breathe. Like,
Oh, shit.
I just can't breathe, and my mind is super calm. Like, dude, just figure it out. My body's like, you can't breathe. Like, I am freaking the fuck out because that's a very like, you need that.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So I'm just like, and the people in the hot tub thought I was faking. Like, no, stop that. Like, you're playing. Stop cutting up. Like, who uses cutting up? Like,
You come back to life just to say that.
yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah. I was just like, and people thought I was hyperventilating, so they got me a bag, and like, no, I'm not hyperventilating. I can't.
Opposite.
This is not helping. So they get me out of the place and into like the main lobby. It's so embarrassing. Like, I'm in my trunks. I'm not a fit individual, and like I'm just like got this thing.
Well, I mean, you're not like fat. though.
right. Well, I'm
You're
skinny.
just- yeah.
I'm skinny fat. So like
He's
right,
flabby.
right? I got this whole mess going on. Like, it's not a great sight. Plus, I'm dying.
So I'm just like hunched over like a monkey, just
Right.
packing up a
And
lot.
so like I'm just sitting there, like just hunched over and defeated because like I started to catch a little bit of breath, which is great, but I can't exhale. Like I'm just like, oh. Like, it's just, it sounds like what I would imagine a pedophile would sound.
Welcome back.
As he's closing in.
Right. As he returns to the podcast. And so they call the ambulance because yeah, this is a big deal.
You know.
And like I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm like, what? This is. They had gone to the wrong hotel. Found that out later. So they'd gone to the wrong hotel.
Well, you meant the double tree.
Yeah,
we went to the triple tree.
Yeah, we went to
the fucking Hamilton.
Silly us.
We don't go to that hotel. So they get there and they put me on oxygen and like they're getting me going. I'm finally starting to breathe a little bit. It's assisted, but it's still breathing. And they start asking me questions like, "Who's your mom? What's your social security number?" I don't
know any of these questions.
I know who my mom is. Social security number. And
what's her number?
Right, and yeah,
Is she hot?
And they're like, who has custody of you? And I was like, it's joint custody. And they literally said pre-treatment. This is before they really assessed. Like, well, we'll just let them fight over the bill. And I was like, whoa, like,
hold on,
hey, let's figure out that
get crazy
later now.
Yeah.
These assholes poisoned me.
Yeah. This is important.
They can pay for the culprits. So they're going to take me in the ambulance to the hospital. And they put me on the gurney, which is great because I can walk.
Because I don't like to walk.
Right. But what they do, like, this is the ineptitude of some people. They strap me down and they like pull the strap across my chest. Which is, this is where the problem is coming from, guys. Like, this is the issue. And they like get me into the ambulance, which I'd never ridden in an ambulance before.
It's so rad.
Right. And
I
so
just
fun.
recently got to do that last year.
different
Yeah.
context.
First time in my life.
Different
He threw out his
context
backbone
would
on
have
the
been
lady.
great. Correlate.
Big.
Alien.
And so the guy starts taking blood and everything, and it's.
Can you at least breathe by this point?
I can breathe with the oxygen. Like,
Okay.
they're pumping
Thank
just
you. I've
on.
been
Right.
wondering this whole
There's a
time.
mask.
Let's talk to the guy who can't breathe
Right.
questions.
Yeah. And so they start taking blood. The ambulance. What are they doing? They go to the wrong hospital. Like, how do you even do that? Like, can't you just be treated by any hospital? I thought you could, but they get to the like, oh wait, this is the wrong hospital. Oh, for fuck! So
Steve, you owe me $1.
yeah, he starts taking my blood, and he's like, wow, you have really awesome veins, and I was like, that's awesome. Like,
That's a weird compliment.
Go out later.
I really needed that compliment.
Oh, I can breathe now. Thank you.
It's
Breathing lights and
It's a
fucking
30-minute ambulance ride, and for 27 and a half of those minutes, he's commenting on my veins. Like,
the
I'm just
fuck?
like, stop, dude. Like, get out of
My veins.
Get out of my veins.
yes. This is mine. Like, you go away. So
I'm taking this away
we
from you.
we
Like
get
starts licking his lips and
right.
shit.
Yeah.
Veins.
He was doing like my creepy breath.
I want to cut you up.
Maybe that's
cut you
what-
up and wear you as a suit.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. So we finally get to the right hospital, and
Thank
they
you, doctor.
take me down, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna take you to the burn unit." And I was like, "What? I was in
Wasn't
why?
burned.
They're like, "We want to make sure you didn't chemically burn your lungs." And I was like, "Oh, whoa!"
So-
That's when it really clicked for me. Like that's death. That's a lot of things that I don't like.
That's a bad idea.
Right. And
Lungs, no.
we get into the place. I'm in the burn unit, still strapped down, and they're like, "Why?" They unstrap me, and they lift me onto the bed. And I'm like, I can walk, guys.
Guys, I'm not like dying
Right.
anymore.
And what had happened was because they took levels at the hotel, I had inhaled so much chlorine that I had an allergic reaction, and like it was just because the amount of chlorine was way above the prescribed levels and probably above the legal levels. So
They want that pool to be fucking clean.
yeah,
they
it's
did.
a clean pool. Some of my lungs.
You could take a shit in that pool for chlorine to take care of
They're
it.
just like disintegrating.
So
But
we get the bill. We get the bill, which is astronomical. Like
Yeah.
medical bills.
Yeah.
Wow,
they
man.
tack on a little extra because
Yeah,
they went
exactly.
to the wrong hospital.
Yeah, no, they wanted us to pay mileage. Like, they wanted us to pay mileage and oxygen. Like, oxygen's free, guys. Like, there's a lot of it.
Just stick a hose up to the outside and that's the other end of my face.
So we lawyered up. Well, I didn't lawyer up. I don't know anything about legal proceedings, but my mom did. And this lady was just like, "Hey, you can either, talking to the hospital, like, you can either pay the bill, or you can pay
Or you
the
can give us
bill
our oxygen
plus
back.
pain and suffering and all of it. Like, it would have been a
Plus
lot of
charges.
money. And they're just like, well, we'll just pay the bill.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine.
When,
This one's on us.
So you would have had to pay the hospital pain and suffering?
no.
Yeah, shit. Like his lawyer was
Our
talking to
lawyer
the
was
hospital.
talking to the hospital.
Oh,
No, not to the hospital.
So
Excuse
your
me.
lawyer was
To the
like,
hotel.
either you pay
To
the
the
bill
hotel. Okay.
To the
okay.
hotel. Yeah, that's my.
To the hotel.
Yeah, like either you can pay
I
the
was like, the
bill.
hospital, I'm pretty sure will be fine.
Yeah, they were
It's
like
an
fucking.
inanimate object. It's a
Yeah.
building.
It's
Sounds like
like
an
a
outside.
fall
No, it
from
doesn't.
fucking floor,
Yeah.
right?
So we go to state the next day, and somehow everybody in state has heard that I was the kid that was almost dead yesterday.
Hey, almost dead kid, what's up?
How you doing?
I've never met any of these people. Like, hey, I heard about you. Are you feeling all right? Well, I'm yeah. You can see me?
Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
am so dedicated to my art.
It's like high right
State
now.
did not go well because they fucking hated forensics. But yeah,
But, you know.
it was interesting how fast
hated
word
what?
could spread about people that two people that I'd never.
I don't have a near-death experience that bad, but I have had people be like, "Oh, that's the guy who almost died." Thing. All right, this will be fast. So in 6th grade, I had habit cough, which is whooping cough, but your body gets so stressed out it causes a constant tickle every breath. So every breath you're like, like that.
Oh man.
So I was out of school
Sounds like
for like
fucking Tim Taylor.
Oh, it was awful. So I was out of school like the first month and a half. So I walk into because of how my middle school is structured. You took a lot of classes, but a lot of like the not the gen eds, the like extracurriculars like family consumer science.
Yeah.
They're like
Okay.
about that long.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in for my first day of that class when they're like, I have a week left. So I'm like asking teachers, like, how do I get to this room? They're like, how do you not know? You've been here for a month. I'm like, I actually haven't. And they're like, oh, you're that guy.
You're coughing guy.
So I walk into class, like, as the teacher's talking, so she gets really quiet. She's like, hello, are you in the right place? I'm like, I think so. Is this the family consumer science room? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, hi, I'm Mitch. And she goes, oh.
Oh, we thought you were dead.
You can
thought
sit
you
right
died.
back there. I'm like, okay, well, she didn't say it. But as I'm walking past, kids are like really, really quiet, and I heard like a very loud whisper, like just, I thought he was dead. And I just looked at her and went, no.
Sucks for you. I'm not dead, bitch. Still here.
Pinch me out
No,
here.
I'm gonna put my
Again-
fingernails in your food.
Again, that's where you got to embrace the bit. You got to just like lean into her ear.
Only you can see me.
I made a deal.
Okay. I really hate to cut this short because it's going really, really well. But I'd love to have all three of you back sometime if you guys want. Especially Cody, you've been great 2 times now. I mean,
Whoa!
dude, you're welcome.
Yeah.
back.
See?
Welcome to that.
Dude, yeah, whoa, buddy. There we go.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
know you're good.
And now I just ruined
No,
it.
it's okay.
Put your mouth back on.
Start over.
See, I would like to say that the fact that we had to have 3 people to compensate for one, like, that must have been a hell of a guest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't actually know if she would have. Like, I
It
assume
was
she would have been good.
Yeah.
We weren't going to say
But
it.
no biggie, I'm
we had
actually
the
bringing
Hydra
in
onto the
like
show.
Yeah, no, like, I
Channing
was-
Tatum.
Oh,
He was the guest.
Oh, shit.
No, that's
He has Channing Tatum lined up.
yeah. In 2 weeks, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you better clean this fucking place up, man. Seriously.
I'm not having a dirty basement for Channing Tatum.
I feel like there's a
We
butt
have to
joke
give
in
it
there
a
somewhere.
great dance.
Definitely.
So anyway, yeah, Cody, you've been great 2 times. You guys were great tonight. I'm all of
You
us are
might
glad
be
to
good
have
other
you.
nights. but
You might be good other nights. You're all welcome back.
Mitch will tell you I'm good every night.
My limited experience
He's
with them
okay.
suggests that they are normally pretty interesting.
Yeah,
No,
we do this every Tuesday. Like seriously, if you're bored on a Tuesday, just send one of us a text. Be like, hey, are you guys recording tonight? And we'd be glad to have you on.
I live like 100 years.
Yeah, you guys.
Bruce is at my house every day.
Yes, you just live like right fucking over there.
Might as well.
But yeah, we're like I said, glad to have you back anytime. We have next week is going to be super super exciting because I can finally talk about it because it's finally set in stone and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it will be next week. The day might vary, but it's going to be next week. There is a man by the name of Jason Anarchy who created a tabletop game called Drinking Quest.
Oh,
and you've heard about
I
it.
love drinking
Yeah.
place. It's awesome.
He's he made it. We're going to have him on over Skype. We're going to do a brief interview with him, maybe 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
It's a big deal.
So everyone get pumped with that, because I'm the best at running a podcast apparently. But for now, we are going to probably take a break. Maybe record another one, maybe not. These guys got to get home. I think Ian has to go to a work thing. But we may be back with another one this week.
Freaking thing.
Oh, I was like, drinking things way different than work.
I mean, you can combine the two.
I like to combine
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's just frowned upon when I have to use power tools.
Exactly. Okay, so that's all for us tonight.
Oh, yeah. Can I do a quick plug?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Anybody who has a plug, do it.
Yeah, we got plugs. Excellent. We are hoarse.
Do it.
Bruce is actually directing the one act that I'm in.
Nice.
So, and I believe I mentioned it last time, November 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Yep,
And these are-
David is also in one.
These are at
And-
Missouri
and
State?
they're at Missouri State.
Okay, which building?
Craig. Up in the
Craig.
Balcony Theater. They're free. There's awesome directors. We have at least 2 awesome actors, I'm including myself.
Yeah.
What are the acts that you guys are doing?
There is The Actor's Nightmare, which is the one I am directing by Christopher Durang. There is He Said and She Said, which is being directed by Jordan Shelton. There is Anton Chekhov's The Proposal, being directed by William
I
Bixby.
think every year there's a Chekhov.
There's pretty close.
This one will be really good.
It will.
Oh, okay.
Because Will's real smart.
Yep.
There's the Tarantino Variation, which is the one that David is in.
Nice.
And A Second of Pleasure, I think that's the name of it. I don't remember.
Is it like,
And that one is being directed by Emily Phelps.
is it about the male orgasm?
No, unfortunately. I also have another
The
shameless
mysteries
plug.
of the male
At
orgasm.
the time.
Oh, okay.
And on October 31st, Shadowbound will be debuting.
Yes.
I brought it up a handful of times. Yeah, I gotta send you the link.
I already have a link to it. Well, I think it's the
Yeah,
right
I've
link.
seen
I
a
put
ton
it
of
in a
stuff
couple
about it.
episodes back. I'll put it in the description for this one as well.
Yep.
I have a plug.
Go ahead.
If any of you have seen like the Buffy stage adaptation,
Yes.
downtown, I'm now playing Spike. In
Nice.
and stuff. And it's the 16th, right? Because it's the same day. Because I'm doing 2 shows in one day.
Oh, good.
Get some.
So-
Yeah, I'm doing Tarantino Variation and the Buffy stuff in both one day, and it's always the 3rd Saturday of every month. So.
This next month, 16th of November.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're doing Batman now, also like the Adam West Batman, which is I think it's gonna be fun.
I've seen
something into a parody.
Lack of
If you're gonna
objectivity.
make something into a parody, it's that. And it's
Right.
It's like $5 for one,
Yeah.
and $10 or $8
Cheap
for
fucking
both.
for
And
like,
it's- and now
laughs,
it's
whatever.
Skinny downtown beside Nona's.
Oh, okay, yeah. As always, Andrew has Rock Relapse. He's still doing Rocktober.
I got a band to plug too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my blog is still going. A review every other day at rockrelapse.com. It's a blast. But also, I just discovered this new band this week. They're called Bad Flower. They're really, really, really underground right now. Like, no one's fucking heard of them, so that's cool. But I heard 2 of their songs on YouTube this week. I don't have a URL offhand, but I'll give one to Jake to maybe throw in the description or something.
Yeah.
But they have at least 2 killer songs on YouTube, one called Heroin, the other called The Jester. And again, they're called Bad Flower. They're awesome. Check them out. And that's all I got.
Cool. Okay.
That sounds about it. That sounds a whole lot like Brandon coming in. So we'll wrap up real quick. Starting on my left, we have
Cody.
Bruce, David,
Andrew.
Yeah.
Mitch.
And I'm Jake. We will catch you all later. Brandon, shut up.
Get out of here, Brandon.
Go away. We're ending the podcast right now.
Thanks for having us
Great.
on.
And, all right, bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.